not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist. You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isod. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy. Because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all these we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. I had in Sosine Bige. He said,
Welcome, 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 lovers of freedom across the world. I appreciate everyone that has connected to this very program today, more especially those that are connecting from Biafra land. My special thanks goes to you that is connected from Biafra land. I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to guide you, protect you, and secure you. If you are watching from any part of the world, from Asia, from Europe, from America, from Australia, from Canada, from New Zealand, from Russia, from China, whichever part of the world you are watching us from, we welcome you and we say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to guide and protect you. My beloved sister Roslyn AK, you are welcome, Roslyn. You're welcome, my beloved sister Linda TV Show. Thank you so much for joining me. You are always here supporting me and giving me a backup. Thank you so much, my beloved sister Linda TV Show. Roslyn AK, thank you so much for joining. And every other person that is on the background watching this very program. Please, I urge you to like this program and share it to at least one person. Like and share to at least one person. We are in a very critical time, a very critical period, a time that we have to intensify our radical evangelism to make sure that every Biafran is carried along. We are going home. As you all know, today is the D-Day, the day that the Biafran people have agreed that they are going to tighten up and straighten up the seat at home. A day that we agreed that we're going to speak from the angle of strength, no more from the angle of weakness. A day that we agreed that we are going to activate the 7 days sit at home. It kicks off today, being Monday. And I can bet you in Biafra land, everywhere will be locked down today. Everybody has prepared and waiting. This morning, as I tell you, you are going to see and how things are going to unfold. Many people who are asking questions, who are thinking, is it going to happen or is it not going to happen? For the genuine Biafrans, the genuine agitators, we know and we agreed that today, going forward for complete 1 week, will be a total lockdown in Biafra land. And we are kicking it off today, starting being Monday. It doesn't matter what you hear, your propaganda or your blackmail will only endanger your life. The earlier you obey simple instruction and continue to listen to our Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Indonesia, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the more you continue to listen to the media of Biafra Republic of Indonesia, the more you will be safe. Akachuku Jude, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. The more you'll be safe. If you continue to pretend not to know what is happening and you continue to follow the path of destruction, you will never, ever, ever be able to enter Biafra, and you will keep on complaining. And if care is not taken, you might not be able to be around to tell the story. You see why it is necessary for you to focus on the direction that you're supposed to go. Our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is the person that gave us this mantle, said it clear that IPOB is consistency personified. That is why when people begin to ask me, how are you sure on your part? Who is the right person and who is the wrong? Who am I to follow? I ask them. The answer to that question is given by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That the IPOB that he himself is established is as whiter than white. The IPOB that he established is consistency personified. All you have to do is to look back and see who are those holding the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Who are those who are consistently asking for the freedom of Biafran people? Who are those standing to hold on to the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and make sure that the legacy is not destroyed? There is no other people than the auto-piloted IPOB under Biafra Republic of Indonesia. Raphael, you're welcome. These are the group that are holding the banner, making sure that the voice of Biafra people are heard on all grounds, holding the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and we are standing on that part of truth. As I always tell you, this very platform here, we don't come here to preach lie or blackmail or attack people. We don't come here to engage unnecessary attacks. Duru Imaya, welcome. We don't come here to speak against people. We don't come here to talk against innocent people. We don't come here to continue to preach falsehood about people. We don't come here to attack our brothers. We don't come here to instigate violence unnecessarily. We don't do that. That's not what we do. That is why we have taken up to ourselves the most democratic means, the most civil means of airing our opinion, which is civil disobedience. Civil disobedience is a democratic means of making a statement. It is not a violent means. It is not called for war. It is not called for anybody's attack. What we are saying that Biafran people should quietly sit in their home and observe days of silence for complete 1 week, so that the world will watch and see that enough is enough. The incarceration of an innocent man who has not committed any crime any place in the world, a man who the court have said, let him go, he is free, yet the Zoological Republic continue to hold him against the order of their own court. Since they have refused to do that which is right, we the Biafran people have taken upon ourselves that we are going to force them to do the right thing. How are we going to force them to do it? We will force them through our civil disobedience, anchoring on sit at home for complete 1 week. It's kicking off today. It is a legitimate means of making a strong statement. Everyone who has been asking for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, all your Hanese, so-called whatever you call them, these people have been speaking from the side of weakness. They have been speaking from the angle of weakness. And today, we have decided, the Biafran people have decided that we are going to speak from the angle of strength. As you all saw, when the lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Aloy Ejimako, made a tweet, the special counsel, Aloy Ejimako, and he said that the act of begging for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not right. Whenever you open your mouth and you are begging for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you are making him guilty of an offense which he did not commit. Calling for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is something that you have to call, we enforce. It's something you have to demand for. Demand that the government of the Zoological Republic should do the right thing. It is a call for the right thing to be done. It is not a mercy plea. We are not playing for any mercy for anybody. We are not asking for clemency from anybody. Neither are we asking for any pardon. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have never committed any crime and have never been convicted by any law court on the planet Earth. This is a fact that the Zoological Republic knows. A fact that you can find on their own conventional media. In their own conventional media, go there, you will see this information I'm telling you. That our student Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been set free. The court say, let him go. The court went further to say that he will be paid compensation and said that no law court in that Zoological Republic had the right to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yet, because of the wickedness, because of the tyranny in that contraption, they have continued to hold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and refuse to leave him up to this moment. And what we see in Biafra land, those who are supposed to be speaking on his behalf, what we see in Biafra land, those who are supposed to make a case and demand for the immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, instead of making that demand, what do? They come out and they begin to beg. They begin to play games and play pranks. Are you now telling me that all these people who claim to be intellectuals, educated, all these people who claim to have all the wisdom and knowledge, are you telling me that they don't know that they have to enforce the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because the court have said so? Are you now telling me that they don't know the way to demand for the unconditional and immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? They know what to do. But why they have decided to be playing games is because they are in this game with the caliphate. It is because their paymaster who made them governors, their paymaster who made them lawmakers, their paymaster who directs their thought is the one writing the script, and they are playing along with the script. They played along to go and kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. They sent him to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition. As if that wasn't enough, they took him to their court. The court said, let this man go, he's innocent. They refuse to leave him, and they are still holding him. And the same people who have connived to sell Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because of their own selfish interest, because they were looking for something that is not obtainable. That very information Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave them, once you are pursuing, is not obtainable in the Zoological Republic, Igbo presidency. It is a written code in Nigeria that no Igbo man will be a president in that contraption. A written code. And in this year, 2020, they have spoken out that code openly, loudly, that you can never, ever be a president as long as you are Igbo Biafra. And yet you are pretending not to see it. You are pretending not to know that. Now you see your purpose and aims of selling your own brother, giving his life, could not be achieved. Instead of you to stand your ground and demand for his unconditional release, you are begging. Begging because you have sold your soul to the devil. And some of them today are using the situation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to cash in, to make themselves popular. Somebody like the criminal Ifeanyi Ubah. A criminal like Ifeanyi Ubah, somebody we know his antecedent, somebody we know his criminal act in the past, somebody that was people that have exposed for a very long time, how he goes at the back to claim to have contact with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, extorting money from people, extorting money from the government, all in the name that he's going to control Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB when we have nothing to do with him. He thought that he can play with our intelligence. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu busted him open. He went ahead to join those who kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and even use his own flight, allegedly, use his own flight to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu His own flight was used to bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria, allegedly. And up to today, during the case, when Mazi Nnamdi was coming to court, while he was pursuing his political career, he pretended to come for the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And since after then, what has he done? Has he made any case for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? No. And today, we, the ordinary Biafran people, have continued to hold our seat at home for the past 2 years. All of a sudden, that clown came from nowhere. Instead of demanding for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he came. His own problem is channeled on the seat at home. He is trying to engage in a war that he cannot win. Let him ask questions. Go and ask Saludo how far. Ask Hope Uzodinma how far. Ask Dave Umahi how far. You, an ordinary lawmaker. Ordinary lawmaker. You are bragging, challenging the Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile, challenging the authority that is speaking on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, challenging all the Biafran, genuine Biafrans that are seeking for their freedom. And you want to stop the sit at home on Monday. You are going to meet your match. You are going to meet your match. You are already meeting it. The war will be brought up to your doorpost. Since you feel it will be brought up to your doorpost. The sit at home we hold, even in your village, in your own household, you will have a sit at home today. You think you can stop the moving train. You are digging your grave. You cannot play gamble with IPOB or Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You cannot play gamble with the freedom of the people. You cannot trade Biafra for anything. You think you can use Biafra to play your games. You want to use Biafra to gain influence. You want to use Biafra to showcase yourself. You are going to meet your doom. It is so sad that people don't learn. Because of their quest for money, because of their greed, envy, and jealousy, and love of money, they do not learn from what happens around them. Because if these people have foresight, if someone like Ifan Yuba has a common sense, he should learn from what has happened to people who were governors who were selected by the presidency to fight against Biafra. How are they today? How are they faring? How are they faring? And look at you. Look at you, a fraudster, going to collect money, extorting money from your fellow men in Nnewi, extorting money from Nnewi men. That same extortion that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu mentioned. Today it has become very clear. You collect money from them, you want to put street lights, you went and buy guns and give touts that you want to stop sit at home, and you did a voice message. Don't stop in voice message. Don't stop it. We want to see you in the field. The ESN, Biafran Liberation Army, we want to see you in the field. Not on voicemail. The 1 week sit at home has pronounced. It has kicked off. It has kicked off, and the Biafra land is under lock and key. And I'm telling you that today's sit at home is going to be greater than the ones you have seen before. The Biafran people have chosen to speak from the angle of strength. And where you are getting it wrong, where you're going to kill yourself, is because you think that this is an order from Mazi Simon Ekpa. You are thinking that Mazi Simon Ekpa is imposing himself on Biafran people. Mazi Simon Ekpa is not imposing himself on anybody. The Biafran people only made him a spokesperson. He's just the voice of Biafra. And as he has been choosing, his voice is the voice of the gods of the land. The voice is the voice of Chukwu Okike Abiama. There is no way you can engage Chukwu Okike Abiama in a battle and you win. A fraudster like you that have blood in your hand, how dare you challenge a saint of Chukwu Okike Abiama, a chosen one? You have met your doom. You don't learn. That's the problem. You don't learn. You didn't ask question. You should have made inquiry. Every single person that have engaged our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa, go and look at them. How are they today? How are they faring? For the past 2 years, go and check, including organizations that have engaged him. How are they? And you didn't learn. He didn't learn. Anaghị ebu jita aga Congo. Ejiro gita aga Congo. I wish you learn. If you had learned, you will not do what you are doing. But you're going to learn in a hard way. Since that is what you chose, you are going to learn the hard way. Biafran people have made a strong statement today, and they are going to sit at home. Total lockdown in Biafran land today. And our Prime Minister has spoken. Remember, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made it clear to the world that IPOB that he established is consistency personified. That is why any pronunciation you hear from our spokesperson, Mazi Simon, and you are dreaming that he will come back and change it, I'm sorry for you. You have not learned a lesson. Every single word that comes out from his mouth, he will not take it back. We are going to follow it to the end, regardless the result. That is why he doesn't speak often. He doesn't just attack often. He takes his time to observe, and then he will launch the attack. And once he moves, he doesn't go back. He doesn't go back. And he has never, ever lost a battle. Go and check. You didn't check very well. That's your problem. You should have checked. For the past 2 years and now, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not on the picture. Go and check every single battle he has fought, if he has lost any. Go and check every single person I've engaged in. How are they faring? You should have done your homework very well before you begin to challenge the gods of the land. We are talking about the freedom of Biafran people. We are talking about the life of the supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a man who has given it all. Everything in him, he gave it out for the Biafran people. 70 million lives is what he's trying to save. A man who put his own life on the line for 70 million lives. Even when he has everything to enjoy, he has all the connection. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu chose to live flamboyantly, not caring about anybody, he is going to live a flamboyant and recognized life anywhere on the planet Earth. He abandoned it. We are talking about a man that is a prince. Even only being a prince in his village alone could make him popular. And we are talking about being a prince. As the parents are not around, we are talking about a king. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today is supposed to be a king, no longer a prince, because the father is late. He is supposed to be sitting on the throne. But he forgot about that throne. He didn't want to talk about the throne. He threw the throne to the trash because of 70 million Biafrans, because of their life. He put his own parents' life on the line, and he lost his two parents at the same time because of Biafra. He abandoned his immediate family, his wife and children. They can't see him for a very long time because of Biafra. He threw away his career and chose Biafra as a career. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu owns no account, owns no property, owns no home. He is genuinely serving the Biafran, but everything he owns are given to him by Biafrans. Everything he owns are given to him willingly, donated by Biafrans. Whatever he uses, including the clothes he wears, Biafrans own it. This is the man we are talking about. An innocent man, a prisoner of conscience. A man who even the United Nations have said, this man is innocent, let him go. The United Nations have made a pronouncement. And yet you are holding him. And the Biafran people, his own brothers and sisters, who knows his value, they came out in number and said, we are going to speak from the angle of strength and demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Instead of you to support them, all you have to do is to fight against it. You are in a position to demand for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Ifan Yuba, Dave Umahi, Hope Uzodimma, whatever you call them, all the governors, they are all in the position to make a strong statement for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. And that automatically ends the seat at home. They know it very well, but they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. All they do is to pretend. They pretend and ask, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The one in Anambra State, when they built a billboard took a picture and to show you that he's serious. All was deceit. All was a total deceit. After deceiving the people, he came back and showed his real color. Began to take the life of innocent Biafrans, fighting the sit at home. And every one of them that comes, they channel their energy on sit at home. Every politician channel their energy on sit at home. Everybody, every elite in Biafra land, elders who call themselves Ohanis and Igbo, members of Ohanis and Igbo, channel their energy on sit at home. Every froster in Biafra land channel their energy on sit at home. But the innocent people who knows what they want, they are not complaining. If in fact they demanded for more, they are even saying that the 1 week is not enough, because they are the people who wears the shoe and they know where it pinches. They are the people who genuinely need freedom. The so-called political elites, they think they are living in a free world. They have accepted slavery. They have accepted second-class citizen. They have accepted the fact that for them to be anything in Nigeria, they must bow to the Fulani Caliphate. They have accepted that fact. As soon as they bow to the Fulani Caliphate, then they will give them an open door to steal, to commit crimes. And they think they can go free. Even after that, after giving them that free chance to commit crime and extortion, they will still end up catching them and jailing them. They will still end up disgracing them. Look at Oju Zokalo, sharing tears before the whole world. A criminal who even came when his own brother was contesting, he refused to support his own brother, and he says it's not his son. A man who came and said he didn't see anything wrong in Muslim tickets. Now, when he went for what he was pursuing, the senior president, they threw him to the dustbin. They trashed him, and he began to cry that this country is not fair to some of you. You are a madman. That statement alone shows you the kind of politicians you have. That this government is not fair to some of you. Are you mad? Are you insane? Nigeria is not fair to anybody. To any citizen, any indigenous person. Nigeria is not fair to any indigenous person, because Nigeria is a contract which serves the purpose of the British alone. Nigeria was not established to serve any indigenous person. It doesn't matter if you're from the north, from the south, from the east, from the west. Nigeria was not constructed to serve your purpose. It doesn't serve the Hausas. It doesn't serve the Yorubas. It doesn't serve the people from the Biafra land. And there you are, saying that Nigeria is not fair to some. Who are those some of you? Who are you? Who are those some of you? Of course, your fellow criminals, your fellow betrayers, your fellow murderers. That's the people you are referring to. So it is not about the Biafran people. It is not about your own people. It's not about your constituency. It's about you. And they threw him to the trash. He began to cry. And even at that, he doesn't have, they will even beat him and tell him not to cry. When he forced him to, they still beat him and shut him up, and he shut up and began to talk trash again. The same thing happened to Rocha Sokorocha. Rocha Sokorocha invested in the northern part of Nigeria, put all his wealth and life in there, stealing from Biafra land and taking to the north, giving them all manner of things, including education, free education. His philanthropy's move was only in the north, mainly in the north. But at the end of the day, what happened to Richard Sokoloja? He went ahead, he's grew there, and he can speak Hausa more than an Hausa person. But yet, what happened? When it came to the time he wanted to make a move, they saw him as a threat. They saw him as a threat, and they locked him up. Rocha Sokorocha will never ever recover politically again in Nigeria. Rocha Sokorocha will never ever recover again in Nigerian politics. He's dead and gone. But are still, with all this bunch of clowns who have stolen a lot of wealth from Biafra cannot repent and join Biafra, because they are scared of the known. They are still feeling like a hero. They still want to be on top, where the whole villagers will be lining up in their house to beg them, where people will be sending application to their wives and children, where they will be running the affairs of everything. That is what they still want. That is why they cannot go for Biafra. When your hand is not clean, when you are fraudulent, there is no way you can support Biafra. You cannot. When your hands are not clean, when you are fraudulent, when you are corrupt inside out, there is no way you can support Biafra. That is why I see people who are waiting for politicians to support Biafra. You are wasting the goddamn time. No politician, no Nigerian politician will support the Biafra. I say, including the ones you see before, calling Mazi, Nnamdi, they were all doing it for their selfish interest. When they went forward for their governorship and they failed, they disappeared. Did you hear from them anyway? Did you hear from them anymore? That is to show you what they are. Every single politician in Nigeria is demonic. They are your arch enemy, and you must not listen to them. Mazi and Nnamdi have revealed this long before now. And our Prime Minister Mazi took it up, went ahead to analyze it to the Biafran people, and the Biafran people came together and gave the vote of no confidence on every single politician. And today, here are we, watching and listening, seeing what is going on. Today, here are we, standing on a better ground. Today, they have lost it all, and the whole world is watching. The whole world have been watching the referendum of Biafra people for 2 years. Every Monday has been a lockdown. They bring propaganda, it didn't work. They bring blackmail, it didn't work. They went ahead to employ somebody, the man in the creek. They employed the man in the creek to continue to counter the sit at home, to take the life of innocent people in order to blackmail the sit at home. When we pointed that out, the DSS, Nigerian government, is sponsoring that very attack against people on citizens. It doesn't have anything to do with the IPOB. They didn't believe us. Nobody believed. Nobody believed. When we were saying that the IPOB, the ESN, has nothing to do with the city, Mazi and Nnamdi made it clear that they have their duty in the bushes to protect the forest. People didn't believe us. But finally, you saw the man in the creek confessing. The man in the creek confessed that Muhammad Buhari has given him a contract to stamp out the IPOB. He didn't hide it. That Muhammad Buhari gave him a contract to stamp out IPOB. And he has been holding that contract, carrying that contract, pursuing that contract to make sure that his whatever he plans works. But I tell you, enough is enough. He is going to meet his match this time around. He is going to meet his match. You see him speaking boldly. And when you see the last video he made from the arch enemy of the people, from the greatest and the highest sponsor of terrorism, a country that sponsors terrorism, any terror group you see are always being sponsored by people from Saudi Arabia. You saw him in Saudi Arabia, that he went for Hajj, making noise from there, still talking, still bragging. And when we tell you about the Islamization of Nigeria, you don't believe it. But I pity him. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. If he knows what he's doing, he will know that he will be the first one they're going to take out. He himself, the man in the creek himself, will be the very first person the government of Nigeria will take out. They are going to finish him. He has already nailed himself, but he didn't know. Some of them don't learn for other people's mistake. A Biafran, he said you're Muslim. A Biafran. The Fulanis don't even trust the Hausa Muslim. They don't trust the Yoruba Muslim. So you think they would trust a Biafran Muslim? Really? Really? You're a joker. That's why I know that man doesn't have sense. I'm telling you, the Fulanis do not trust the Hausa Muslim. They don't trust an Hausa man to be a Muslim. They don't trust. Fulanis don't trust them. The Fulani man do not trust somebody from the southwest. They don't trust them. They are only watching them closely and using them against their own people. They don't trust them one bit. That is why even in the mosque, they will not allow them to lead. And you think that they will trust you, the Biafran person, their arch enemy. Oh God, I pray that Chukwu Okabe will open the eyes of that creep, that pig, so that he can be able to understand things. So that he can see his death coming. It is sad that the love of money is truly the root of all evil. When you hear people say it, you wouldn't know the weight and how true it is. But when you begin to look at the things that are happening in Biafra land, in Biafra struggle, the way our people are selling out their conscience, you begin to understand that the love of money truly is the root of all evil. It is because of the love of money that somebody like Ifan Yoba will begin to rise against his own. Will begin to rise against his own self. We decide to set his own village on fire because of his own personal interest. The love of money. But I tell you, Ifan Yoba is going to meet his doom. He will. Today marks the beginning of the sit at home in Biafra land. The Biafran people are sitting at home. Total lockdown everywhere in all the states. You saw the new governor of Ebonyi State when he Enugu State. When Mba came out, and he began to display his foolishness and stupidity. When Mba came, he thought he's going to stop the sit at home by threat. He began to talk trash. He started with the deceit. That's their usual deceit. And they come and ask, oh, free Mazi Nnamdi, please, why are you begging for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi? Why do you have to beg? Why? Why are you begging? Is he guilty? He is not guilty. Mazi Nnamdi is not guilty. Why are you asking for pardon? Why are you asking for mercy? Why are you asking for clemency? You are now making Mazi Nnamdi guilty by your own self. It is you now that is putting guilt on Mazi Nnamdi by begging. Every genuine person is supposed to be speaking from the angle of strength and demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi. That is what you're supposed to be doing. If it needs sanction, give the sanction to federal government. If it needs what, speak to them. Do anything you can. That is what you're supposed to be speaking from the angle of strength, not begging. That clown came and he thought he was going to deceive us. Mba came and thought he would deceive the African people. And he began to say, I will use everything in my power to stop sit at home. And when he said it, that Monday became the greatest sit at home in Enugu State. That Monday became the greatest lockdown in Enugu State. And since then he has said it. Did you see that the Fulanis have resumed the attack in Enugu State? Do you see the loss of life we are having in Enugu State on daily basis? Do you see the kind of kidnapping that is happening in Enugu State on daily basis? What is that governor doing? Has the governor taken any further step to secure the people? Has he? He has never. Has he taken any further step? This is unbelievable. I don't know why any Biafran should listen to these politicians. I don't know why. Is it that they are not paying attention, or is it that you are waiting for it to happen to you before you learn? Why will any Biafran listen to these politicians? Why? Is it because it has not happened to you directly? You have not been kidnapped directly, or your own person is connected to you have not been kidnapped? Is that the reason why you listen to the governor? Look at Enugu State. A man that was busy fighting the sit at home today, Enugu State is on fire. Kidnapping right, left, and center. And the military is there protecting the same people that are kidnapping the innocent. Even when the so-called vigilante, you saw their criminal vigilante, what they call them, the Ebube Pusu. The Ebube Pusu they formed today cannot even confront the Janjaweed. Since they put them in place, I have been saying it, I have never had anywhere where they confronted the Fulanis. Just recently, the only one we had, just recently, when they made the attempt to go after Fulani kidnappers, what happened? They made an attempt to go after Fulani kidnappers. and the federal government of Nigeria, their Boko Haram military, came and murdered some of them. Came and attacked the same security outfit that they formed, that only have their power in the body of their own brother to destroy their houses, to burn houses. They only focus their interest on pursuing their own brother that is asking for a legitimate right, which is self-determination. That is where they channel their energy. The only first time they made a move against the Fulani, the Boko Haram military went after them and took some of them down. So many of them are still in the hospital today. And yet, you will see somebody will come out and be supporting one Nigeria. You see somebody be supporting politicians. You see somebody be talking about the bag. The love of money is truly the root of all evil. Poverty have made people, they have lost their conscience. And when the revelation was made by our prime minister that this Ebubago is made up of people that are mostly people who are not from Igbo extraction, mostly people who are not from that very southeast where they are operating. In Ebubago, you have people from different areas. And when we made that exposition, they thought it was a blackmail. You know, each time we say things, they never believe it until when it becomes to the open, when confession begins to happen. That is one thing. Whenever you see our Prime Minister Mazi mount the podium and he makes his position, every single word he says, put it to heart. It is not to make you happy. It is not to entice you. It is not to entertain you. They are fact and truth. Whatever our Prime Minister says, even when he is joking, anything he says, even when he's laughing and joking, you see him, a baby face. When he's laughing and joking, every single statement he makes, take it serious. Take it serious. If you don't take it serious, you will regret your life. If you don't take it serious, you will live to regret it. Every single exposition he has made. All you have to do is just to be silent, just watch closely for some few minutes, and you begin to realize that yes, what he says is true. When he talked about the people that comprise that very Ebubago, most of us didn't understand it. Today you saw the man in the creek. You saw the pig in the creek today, confessing, telling you that he is in charge of security. And he mentioned Biafran states. He mentioned all the 5 states that they put in their useless destiny. That he is the one in charge. Now tell me, if he is the one in charge, where is Ebubago working and what are they doing? If the man in the creek is in charge of security, what is Ebubago doing? There is no other security you see there apart from that Ebubago, and he is in charge of Ebubago. The Ebubago you are hearing is the man in the creek, Asre Dokubo and his boys. And that is why you see their footprint. When they go to the home of Biafras, they don't consider you. They don't ask questions. They burn your properties and destroy you because they have no conscience. And most of them are not Biafran land. Most of them are not Igbos. That is why when they are going to the Igbo territory, when they are going to the Igbo territory in Biafra land, they don't spare anything. They go to your house, they burn down your house, your property, without conscience. They take lives without conscience. They don't care. They don't think about the consequence. They don't even have pity. A jihadist, a trained jihadist, trained in Saudi Arabia. You have seen him praying in Saudi Arabia. And they brought him, plant him in Biafra land to begin to deceive people. To begin to deceive people and use him to destabilize Biafra land. For a very long time, he has been doing this on the ground. For a very long time, he has been doing this same job on the ground. Only that today, the Islamization has matured and every one of them is coming to the open. They no longer stay on the background. That is why I tell you today, every single enemy of Biafra, they are now in the open. None of them is hiding. No single one of them is hiding anymore. They are now in the open. So if you are a Biafran today and you don't know your enemy, you are sick and we can't help you. If you are a Biafran today and you say you don't know whom to follow or who to listen to, you are sick. We can't help you. My joy is that more than 90% of Biafran people, genuine Biafran people, are standing along with Mazi Simon Ekpa, and they are making statements on daily basis. That is my joy. It doesn't matter what anybody says anywhere. It doesn't matter where you belong. It doesn't matter the angle, the message you are preaching. What interests me today, my joy, is that more than 90% of Biafran people knows what they want, and they are in line with Mazi Simon Ekpa, supporting on all angles. Today, if you are genuine and you still want to have your life, you still want to have a say, the only thing you can do for yourself is to support the Biafran Republic government in exile. The Biafran Republic government in exile under our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa today is the face of Biafra. Biafra have crossed the stage of speaking as an organization. We are now speaking as a government. And that is why we are making strong moves. We have crossed the stage where you go on protest, you write petitions, you write applications, you cry. We have crossed that stage. We are in the stage of engagement, international engagement, local engagement, confrontations. That is what we are doing now. Speaking out as a government. And I can tell you, the people we have in the aim of affairs, they are capable. They can match word with action. And we have seen it happen. The cabinet of Biafra Republic government in Israel is filled up with brains. Every member of the cabinet, they are committed hardcore Biafrans. People who knows what they want. Every single one of them. We have crossed the stage where you will hide on the keyboard and you will type it. You will go there and you go and issue a speech and say you are more powerful. But when we see you, we know that you are so powerless. Because you are powerless, you hide under the keyboard and you are answering powerful. And when you do it, the only way you can know the evil that the Israeli Republic is, how can you be using somebody who doesn't have a face to represent a nation? Somebody you don't know. You don't know him from Adam. He doesn't have a picture. He doesn't have an address. He doesn't have a picture. He doesn't have an address. You don't know him. And yet, when he issues a statement, you will take it and say, he issued a statement on behalf of Biafra. Oh, which Biafra? Which Biafra? The only face of Biafra we know today is the Biafra Republic government in exile under our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. Mazi Simon Ekpa, we know him. We see him on daily basis on his broadcast. He has an address. So many of you, both those who hate him and those who love him, you have written a petition to Finland to arrest him. It is because he is living. He's a human being. At least we know he exists. The only reason why the whole world focused on him and they were writing, people were calling him names, send him, deport him, calling his embassy. It is because he has an address. He's a human being. We are watching and we saw him being given the ambassador of peace. This is a human being working for you and I to restore Biafra. The spokesperson of Biafra has an address. Look at the cabinet of Biafra program in Israel. In the cabinet, you will see visible names, professors, doctors, engineers, businessmen, learned people in that very cabinet with their face and address. Look at our defense minister, Honorable Charles Azuka Wankwo. You can call her, you can speak to her. She has an address, she has an identity. You can relate to her, you can complain, you can argue. We have crossed the stage where we deal with the invisible people. People we have not, some of us, the people we are defending, we have not even seen their picture for once. That is how shameful it is. Some people, the people you claim to be following, the people you claim to follow and they are speaking for you, you have not even seen their picture. I'm not talking about the visual one now. Just picture, you have not seen their picture, how they look like. And you are still following them. You are still propagating them. Those that are parading themselves as the leaders. While Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was around, did you see any one of them? Did you hear any of them? They dare not even put their picture online. They were going to Nigeria and coming. People who claim to be fighting for freedom. It was only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that was on the line. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was on the limelight. It was only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the limelight. And some of them in the media, who were talking in the media, they are the only people you can be seen. But these people today came to claim leadership. that are claiming leadership, none of them, even their picture, we didn't see. Today, why you are even seeing some of picture is because the auto-piloted IPO rooted them out. The auto-piloted IPO went on the ground to force their pictures out, force their identity out. That is even why you can be able to identify them a little bit. We forced their picture to appear. When we showed you the man that is claiming to be powerful in Ghana, when we showed you were surprised. You will see him writing statement under the keyboard, writing statement. You don't know it's somebody that is selling battery charger, selling phone pass that in a kiosk, not a shop, a kiosk that is not up to one line. He's not even selling repair of phone accessories that are not. When you look at the shop where he stayed, it's not even up to the goods. They are not up to 1 million naira. That is somebody that is fighting for a nation. This is the person that you think that when the zoo call him and give him $20,000, give him $1,000, that he will not speak from the other side of his nose. That is why they gave them 40 million, common 40 million, and they begin to blackmail Mazi Nnamdi, and they begin to fight against the seat at home. You remember when our prime minister made this position? They collected only 40 million to endanger the life of 70 million people. Now, when you see the picture of these clowns, you begin to understand that we have wasted a lot of time. When you see the picture of people who have been there, now you begin to appreciate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's courage. Now you begin to know the problem that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have faced for this while. You will now know what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have gone through. He has passed through hell. Let me tell you, it is not everybody that can handle the kind of people that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu handled for a decade. It is not everybody. It takes extraordinary knowledge, extraordinary wisdom for you to be able to manage the kind of people that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu managed for more than a decade. It takes an extraordinary wisdom. If you don't have that wisdom, you cannot be able to manage the people that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu managed for more than a decade. Some of us didn't know. We thought we were dealing with humans. But today, Chukwu Okike Abiama used Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to bring our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa inside. And when he saw him, he recognized him. Chukwu Okike Abiama planted the new dimension in Mazi Simon Ekpa and showed it to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu embraced it and announced it. He announced it the same way Christ was announced by John the Baptist. When John the Baptist saw Christ, he announced Christ. He didn't hold it. Even John the Baptist refused to baptize Christ. But Christ told him that the baptism must be done to fulfill all righteousness. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saw that same light. He embraced it and he announced it without wasting time that this man is bringing a new dimension. Listen to him. Follow him. Some of them will tell you, is he the only person that was called a name? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu called so many names while he was working, but in those names there are differences in calling names. There are different. When you talk about endorsement, there are people he called their name to encourage their area. It was a time of encouragement to encourage people to come in. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu mentioned so many names just to encourage people from that location, from that very locality, from that very tribe to join. That was why he was calling their name, to encourage them. But when it came to the name calling of Mazi Simon Ekpa, it was a different case. Go and check everywhere that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu called the name of people. It was to encourage them, an encouragement to encourage people from the area. But when he came to that of Mazi Simon Ekpa, he made it expressly clear that this man is bringing a new dimension into the struggle. And he went ahead to say, share his videos, listen to him. As if that is not enough. When they succeeded in kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the first single opportunity he has, what did he say? He told Mazi Simon Ekpa, go and pilot the affairs of the Biafran people until I come. They twisted it and said, give him slot. Even as at that, they should have known that out of all of them that were running around and jumping here and there, claiming to be with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saw them. Why didn't he tell them to go and take a slot? Why didn't he tell them to continue from there? So, the name calling of Mazi Simon Ekpa is an endorsement, open endorsement. It's a different ballgame. And today, you can see the exploit he has done within space of 2 years. I'm just saying 2 years. Just calculate with 2 years and you see the exploit he has done. Everything that he's done in place now, how much does he have? How much did he contribute? How much do you contribute compared to what IPOB have made for more than a decade? But today, Mazi Simon have made more achievement than every one of them can be able to make. What they were doing all this while was extort money from Mazi Nnamdi for lobby. You see IPOB paying for lobby in United States $100,000, $200,000 monthly. And IPOB were paying. They were all siphoning money from Mazi Nnamdi with nothing to offer. For all the lobby they have been doing, which Mazi Nnamdi himself said it and said that they were paying $200,000 per month for lobby in the United States. After spending all that money, what happened? Is there anything that was gained? Is there any recognition that was made? Even the name of Nigeria that was placed under place on hold among the people that are terrorizing Christians was removed. The United States went ahead to sell the Kanu jet to Nigeria. With all those lobbying, they went ahead to sell the Kanu jet to Nigeria. With all those lobbying, they went ahead to begin to strengthen up their bilateral relationship with Nigeria, even in the face of all the evil. What did they do with those money that Mazi Nnamdi was releasing to them? Our supreme leader Mazi Nnamdi suffered. He was just alone. Now you know why he was crying and asking for 100 men. He was always in tears, begging and asking for men to come out and support him. Nobody was able to show up. Even the men that came out to support were blackmailed. I can bet you that some genuine people, educated and connected people, came on to support Mazi Nnamdi, but they were blackmailed by the miscreant. When the blackmail was too much, some of them ran away because they can't hold it. Some of them ran away because the blackmail was too much. Let me tell you, if you don't have the zeal in you, if you are not chosen, if you are not the chosen person, you cannot come into this struggle and make a headways. If you are not chosen, supported by Chukwu Okike Abiama, you cannot come in and make a headways. The attack is physical and spiritual. If you are not chosen, even if you come genuinely to fight for Biafra, your own brothers will push you out and make sure you run away. But the case of our Prime Minister Mazi Simon was different. Every one of you have seen it. For the past 2 years, he has become the focus of the attack. The federal government attack him, the lawyers attack him, the judges attack him, the IPOB fellow Biafrans attack him, the Ones and Igbo attack him, the youths attack him. From all angles, one person. Even people who he trained, the people he brought up, attacked him. But he stood his ground because his calling was divine. He didn't call himself. He stood his ground, and he has been standing his ground up to this moment that you are here watching me. Consistency personified, unshaken. The more you attack him, think he will slow down, the more you make him faster. The more you attack him, the more you make him go faster. All power about 1 war. Excursion Kimeliana. The more you kick him, excursion, he will all about 1 war. You will not now jump small. It was in your back. Excursion. Every Biafran must continue to pray for Mazi Simon. Pray. Every time you wake up in the morning, make him your prayer point. Let nothing happen to Mazi Simon. Let that mental toughness remain in him consistently. And of course, I know it will remain in him because he didn't choose himself. Just like our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi. Our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi is not just a leader, a spiritual leader. He sees what you don't see. That was why he was able to recognize the new dimension. And he blessed it, anointed it, and gave the mantle to him. So many of you are covered, your eyes are covered with jealousy, that when you see the glory of Chukwu Okike Abiama, you don't recognize it because of jealousy. When you see the glory of Chukwu Okike Abiama, instead of you accepting it, you begin to fight it because of jealousy. And it will destroy you. Only Chukwu Okike Abiama knows what is good for you. If you don't key in into the plan of Chukwu Gabema, you will always fail. Because our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa is standing on that foundation. That is why everything he says today goes. Every statement he says comes to pass. Whatever strategy he put in place works. Every battle he engages in, he wins. And we are winning again. The 1 week sit at home have started today. The 1 week lockdown. And I'm telling you that this one is going to be terrible. It's going to be tougher than the ones you have seen before. Nobody's enforcing it anywhere. We don't enforce. Biafrans make their decision on what to do. And they tell the Prime Minister to speak, and he speaks. The same way he supported the Monday sit at home up to date. Whatever the Biafran people chose is what he does. He doesn't speak his own word. Please, as you are watching, I beg you in the name of Chukwu Kaban, share this broadcast to all platforms. Share to family and friends. Make sure you share to at least one person. Any WhatsApp group you belong, share it there. Even to our enemies, share it to them. We have to learn how to tell our stories. We cannot leave our story in the hand of the conventional media. People that we know that they don't want any, they can never tell anything good about us. All they tell about us are lies, blackmail, falsehood. We cannot leave our story in their hand. That is why we come online on a daily basis to engage on this radical evangelism, which you that is watching me is part of. You that is on the comment section, you are part of that radical evangelism. You are part of it. That is why you must have to share when you see any broadcast from the media of Biafra Republic Government in exile, no matter who it is, as long as it's a support for the media, as long as it's a support for the Biafra Republic Government in exile and our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa, share it and make it go viral. Don't keep it yourself. Do not be economical with any message. That radical evangelism will continue until we get into Biafra. The sit at home 1 week lockdown continues. If you're watching from Biafra land, prepare yourself. Chukwu Okikabian will keep you safe. Nothing will happen to you as long as you obey instructions. Chukwu Okikabian already have discharged his angels to guide you. You will never dash your foot against a stone. If you're living abroad, reach out to your family and let them hearken to the sit at home. Tell them it is real. It is for their benefit. It is not to command them. It is not to punish them. It is not to suffocate them. It is to make them have that freedom which they desire. It is to make them have the right which they deserve. Wherever you are watching me across the world, whether you are a Biafran, you are not a Biafran, I want you to hear this and hear it straight. Biafrans want to be free from the clutches of the slave master. Biafrans want to have their own nation. We are not going about it violently. We have already taken the most democratic way to express ourselves, which is civil disobedience. And in that civil disobedience, we chose sit at home. Sit at home is not a violent move. In fact, it's the most peaceful and most democratic way to speak your voice. And today, we want to take it ahead to 1 week, tighten it up, to demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi, a prisoner of conscience. He has not committed any crime. And the court have said he should go home. But the enemies have refused to let him go. We are tired of speaking from the angle of weakness. We want to speak from the angle of strength. That is why today we have chosen to sit at home. 1 good week lockdown in Biafra land. If you are coming from outside Biafra, please stay away from Biafra land for this 1 week. If you are a Biafran or you are not a Biafran, whether you are living in any part of the world, please postpone whatever you have to do. Stay away from Biafra land in this 1 week. We have to make a point. It is part of our referendum and the world is watching. I appreciate everyone that have joined me on this broadcast, wherever you are watching from. If you are watching from any part of Biafra land, may Chukwu Okikabian protect you, guide you, and secure you. You are watching from Asia, Europe, America, Australia, Canada, China, Russia, whichever part of the world you are joining, and you are genuinely seeking for freedom, no matter your race, no matter your tribe, no matter who you support, no matter your belief, no matter your religion, as long as you are pursuing the truth and you need freedom, you are going to see freedom in your lifetime. May Chukwu Okikabian guide and protect all our media warriors and their family. Those who are propagating the gospel of the Biafra Republic of Exile, the gospel of the Biafran people, setting the record straight. May Chukwu Okikabian continue to fight for all of us. protect us. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide and protect the members of ESN, our Liberation Army. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect our Liberation Army. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect the BNL and their leader. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect the Umuada that are fighting day in, day out for us. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect every single one of them. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect every cabinet member of Biafra Republic Government in exile, from the first one to the last. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect them. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect our defense minister and the leader of Umuada, Honorable Charles Azuka Wankwo. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect her family, secure her, give her more strength, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to continue to pilot the affairs until we get into Biafra very soon. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide and protect our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, who has been doing a marvelous work. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect him. Continue to give him more wisdom, more knowledge, more understanding, protection, strength. Give him more mental toughness. No plans, evil plans, no attack that is made against him shall succeed. Every plan against our Prime Minister, both spiritual and physical, will never succeed. Chukwu Okike Abiyama will give his angels charge over him. He will never dash his foot against a stone. We present our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, before Chukwu Okike Abiyama. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will commit into the hand of Chukwu Okike Abiyama for divine protection, for divine healing, for divine strength, for divine wisdom, for divine revelations. Wherever Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is, may Chukwu Okike Abiyama give charge to his angels to bear him in their hands. He will never dash his foot against any stone. Every poison that has been injected into the body of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, every attack against his health, we decree that Chukwu Okike Abiyama will release angels spiritually to continue to minister to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He is going to be healthy, and he will join us very soon. He will join us very soon. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will live long in our midst. He will grow old, and the Biafran people will celebrate him alive. He is going to raise our flag for us very, very soon in 2023 by the special grace of Chukwu Okike Abiyama. No weapon formed or fashioned against the Biafran people shall prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa shall prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against our supreme leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu shall prosper. I appreciate everyone that have connected to this program. Please, if you have not shared, kindly share this program. And if you have not yet subscribed to this very platform. You can equally join me on my evening program, which I'm going to be holding on my Facebook page, King David Exploit Expose. I will be there every evening. I broadcast twice in a day. I broadcast in the morning over here in Chuk Survival, in David Hubbard's channel daily. In this very platform, I broadcast here daily in the morning hours, and in the evening, I go to my page and broadcast. So you can join me when you have time, and make sure you share the videos. Share to everybody. If you have not shared, please do share. It is very important. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for all your support. I appreciate every one of you, and I wish you all a very happy sit at home. Thank you, and see you later. Bye-bye.